भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ।
Dear friends, slowly and slowly, by repetitive study, we are now crawling to the end of the study of the Mundaka Upanishad. If you look at it serially, the number of verses, we have completed the study of the 53rd shloka. And in section-wise, in the last Mundaka, the third Mundaka, the first chapter, we are last but one shloka. One chapter remains of 11 shlokas. And now we are at the conclusion. And what is Brahma Vidya? What is the concept of Brahman? The unity of the concept between Atman and Brahman, they are the one, the same, and we are that, Jiva Brahma Eva Nacha Apara. That is, Jiva and Brahman, in ultimate analysis, they are the same, and there should not be any sense of difference or distinction between them. We are now at that theme, the closing theme of Brahma Vidya. Now, the problem is for a sadhaka or even for an intellectual pursuer, the problem is you say it cannot be describable. That which is not describable, you have no idea about it. How can you experience it? This is a very, very, I would say, pertinent, commonsensical question. That is why our teachers say, though it is not visible by any of the 4 sense organs, 4, mind you, of the 5, he says 4. What is that? He says you can't see it with your eyes, you can't smell it with your nose, you can't touch it, you can't taste it. But through that faculty, that organ of hearing, and what is hearing? Hearing means you hear certain sound, known as words. We speak the same language and we know what that word means. And according to the Sanskrit grammar philosophy, Panini's Darshana, that is Vyakarana Shastra, the science of grammar, it explains that every word used commonly in a society, every word has an innate capacity in itself to explode it into meaning. As for instance, I say water. I pronounce it correctly, properly, as it is traditionally pronounced, water. I've used a sound, but that sound in your brain explodes into an idea, and all of us know what that idea is. It is water, the tasteless, shapeless, odorless liquid, pure, crystal clear liquid. We immediately understand. Water is not here. I don't see it. I don't smell it. I don't touch it. I don't taste it. But the word water gives me a vague idea. And as because later on I see it, I taste it, I touch it, and my knowledge is confirmed into an experience. Then I say, yes, I know, I understand what you mean by the sound water. Similarly, dear, that sound, that faculty of hearing, and that hearing, that sound in itself has an explosive quality known as Sphota. Sphota means which explodes. That is, the sound waves sensate your eardrum, vibrates your eardrum. The nerves take over that vibration, and that vibration through the nervous system is taken to that part of the brain which is qualified to convert that nervous sensation into another form of energy known as thoughts or ideas. That is the explosive part of it. The sound explodes into its inner meaning. And you say, I now understand, Swami, what is water. And then, to substantiate it, you bring water, you see it, you touch it, you taste it, you smell it. If it is fragrant, all your 5 sense organs are satisfied. This is how we generate experience. But that generation of that experience is dependent upon using correct choice of words. This is one. Then there's another way, how sounds help you. This is direct. Now there's another way sound helps you. You are out on a bushwalk. You thought that the path is so easy, you need not carry your map. You come at a point when the road bifurcates, and you are not very sure whether you take the right one or you take the left one. You are in a dilemma. A doubt has assailed in you, and you do not know which way to go. So you sit at that junction, and you keep on waiting and thinking, oh dear me, how do I know which way do I go? All of a sudden, you find somebody coming up the way, the pathway on your right. You run to him and you ask him, sir, did you find a creek down below in the valley? And do you know that this village is above the valley? Climb up the hillside and you will get the village nestled in the forest. Have you seen that? He says, yes, my dear, I have. Now, how can I help you? Could you guide me how I reach to that village? That is my destination. He looks around. He wants really to help you and guide you. He looks around and he sees a very tall gum tree right far away. You can see the top of the gum tree because you are in forest. You don't see down into the valley and you don't know where the river is or the creek is. So he thinks for a while and he says, "Hey, do you see that tall gum tree, the top of it, swinging in breeze?" "Yes, sir, I see that." "Now, imagine, go down straight, hold the trunk. Go down straight and imagine where it hits the soil. From where the trunk has come out from the soil. Can you imagine that?" "Yes, sir." "Now, 10 feet below that, in the same direction that you are facing, the creek is flowing. You don't see the creek. You have no other sense organs helping you with the creek. But that person has chosen a symbol, and that symbol is such that he asks you to go to the root of the symbol, and then 10 feet away, the way you are facing now, you will find the creek is flowing, water is flowing. And then you cross the creek, you will see the pathway climbing up. You climb up and the village will be nestled within the forest, not seen in the forest on your right. He gives you all this instruction. And as because he says, I have been there, I have seen it to be there, and this is the path that I have come up, and now as you want to go there, this is my direction to you. Now this knowledge, when you hear these words of his, you know the meaning of the words explodes into its meaning, idea, and you can close your eyes and imagine the top of the tree which I see with my ears and I've heard from him. Let me see, imagine there, let me go down that road and keep an eye on the tall tree. You will see the creek, the river. You cross over, you climb up, and hidden in the forest on your right, you find your village. So what it is, that you are given a vague but a confirmative idea of an experienced soul who has been there. He tells you this is the way you have to reach. He has only the faculty of expression in correct choice of words and your faculty of hearing those words and get saturated with the idea. He has used his words, you have understood the idea, and you will reach your goal. That is why in our scriptures it is said, Anabritti Sabdat, Anabritti Sabdat, Sabdartha Jnanam Kartavyam. What does it mean? Don't get upset with the Sanskrit words. Anabritti Sabdat. You will not be born again. You will be free from this cycle of birth and death. Na abritti. Na punah abritti. That is, it doesn't move in a circle. It will be broken. The cycle of birth and death will be broken by the help of this word. Those are the Mahavakyas of four Vedas. Anyway, Aham Brahmasmi is one of them. I am that. And how to reach that? The scriptures tells you 1,001 different ways known as Tatastha Lakshana. Lakshana is speaking by signs and symptoms. You have seen in our TV channels, some important person is talking to you. You are listening, but a deaf and dumb person doesn't listen. a person with fat fingers and his etc., movement of his lips, she speaks. And a dumb man a deaf man has been educated to follow that type of movement, and he understands what he is saying. This is known as Tatastha Lakshana, sign and symbol, not correctly to the point, but it leads you to the point. So long, I didn't take up this subject because I thought I'll keep it for the last day. And today is the last day to study the last shloka of this chapter. Now, what we have been seeing? The first two shlokas of this chapter was the simile or the example of two birds of the same plumage, absolutely identical, one pecking at varieties of fruits. Variety means right in the formation and lusciously ripe. He keeps on pecking at it, and the taste that he gets in the pecking, he makes faces. And when he pecks at the luscious ripe fruit, he is happy. So he is reacting to the actions of pecking at the fruits of the tree. And the other bird of the same plumage, he has gone through all this experience. He has climbed up to the top of the tree, swinging in a branch and a twig and enjoying the panorama of world's landscape. They are the same. That means the tree is compared to this body. In this body, two entities remain. They are the same. Because of my own ignorance, I think it is different. And how do I see? Sometimes I am in this world, in a situation, uninvolved, and I watch. And in other situations, I get involved. When I am not involved and I am watching as an observer or as a witness, I don't have any reaction. I only see. And I am not involved, so I do not react. And when I am living in this world and I am involved, involvement means I react and I am a victim of that reaction. This is what is symbolized in this example. The first two says there are two birds of the same plumage. They reside in this body. Because of my ignorance of my true original nature, I have identified myself with what I am in reality not. Atasmin tat buddhi. Let me translate it to you literally. I am identifying myself with what I am in reality not. I have forgotten my real nature, but it is in this body. What I know as I am, according to my passport identity, is a misnomer, is a misunderstanding, is a misconception. That is how he starts. And then, apart from the disciplines that has been mentioned in the elementary studies of Vedanta philosophy, that is Viveka, discrimination, Vairagya, that is renunciation, Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. All this control of inner organs, control of active organs, control of your mind. Do not allow it to roam about. Hold it into a place and you concentrate on the object of meditation. Why? Your chitta, your mind stuff, becomes one with the object on which you are meditating or concentrating and holding your whole mind. And that leads to dharana, uparati, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. All this you have studied elementarily. Now he says, what is the goal like? He has told you the goal is there. But let us take help of choicest words placed in such a manner that we have a very clear concept of what the goal is like. Before that, psychically, Maharishi Patanjali in his Yoga Darshana, in his Yoga Sutra, he has explained to you. Though we are biological creatures, but due to the process of evolution, we have developed such faculties which are not given to any other biological creature. But we have that within ourselves. It remains to be cultivated by a self-imposed, disciplined, educative manner. And how is it happening? When I am looking at you with full concentration, the mind like a bow and an arrow, which the example has been given before, the arrow has been sharpened, honed and polished, put on a bow, and you put the string right up to your ears and let it go. The momentum that is generated by the energy that you have in you, with that whole energy, your mind penetrates the object of your meditation and it be and become one with him. It becomes one with it, the object. And as soon as your mind stuff is identified with the object and you are told to see the object as your true original nature, you be and become one with that. Tadakara akarita bhavati. You become one with that. Tat akara akarita. You are saturating yourself with the object of your meditation. In return, you become one with that. Akhanda akara akarita chitta vrittir udeti. That is, when the mind is absolutely poised, crystal clear, it has no ripples, no waves, no breakers. It is like a sheet of glass. The surface of the water is like a sheet of glass, and the water is crystal clear. What happens? The bottom of your swimming pool, which is very beautifully designed in a mosaic pattern, the whole thing comes up and you experience that. That is, when your chitta is vishuddha, vishesha rupena suddha. Suddha is purified. What is the purity? There is no concept of anything but the divine. And not only on the surface, It has gone deep within your personality. You are saturating an unsaturated, tasteless glass of water. You are saturating it with sugar crystals, and slowly the sugar crystal melts away, and the tasteless water gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And a time comes when the water has no capacity to melt the sugar crystal. We call it, when we were students, saturated solution of sugar in water. Similarly, your chitta is like water, has the capacity to get saturated. And that process of saturation is uparati, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Gradation of the depth, the intensity, and the extensity of your experiencing the spirit of the whole cosmos. So these last three shlokas, the last but three, the shloka number 8 and 9, if you have your books with you, please kindly see to it. Shloka number 8 and 9, I'm going to repeat quickly, and shloka number 10 is what happens and how you and me can take advantage of that happening in another person to help me to reach there. That is the sum and substance of the last shloka of this chapter. Now, let us see. Repeat again at the 9th. Na chakshusha grijjate. You can't see it. Napi vacha. Ordinary worldly language does not help. Nanyayir devair. No other sense organs can reach it. Tapasa, that is, I perform some intense activity, rational, emotional, physical, to achieve something. Sakama, with a desire, inherent desire. That is, the motivation behind my activity is a desire of the world. That does not help you. Na karmana, neither good deeds. I am a very charitable person. I am giving things to poor people, and I am looking around who is seeing what I am doing. I am gaining in my reputation. That doesn't help. Then how does it help you? Jnana prasadena vishuddha satta. Tatastu tam pashyate dhyayamana. Nishkalam dhyayamana. Now, the psychological part is being said. What is it? Jnana prasadena vishuddha satta. By this effort, the process to make myself crystal clear, unpolluted, without any dirt. No dirt, no pollution, nothing to disturb me. And the best example is your swimming pool in the backyard. Mass of water in a masonry constructed swimming pool with a beautiful mosaic design on the floor. It is 2 meters of water below. It is below 2 meters of water. There is no breeze to disturb. So the side of things, the things in the side, they don't reflect on the ripples of the water. It is sheet of glass. And it has been filtered and it is crystal clear. What happens? You are standing in the side, but you see the bottom of the pool as if it has come up to the surface. And you can even count the small pieces of mosaic. Vishuddha Satta means your Satta, your personality, your Chitta is absolutely crystal clear. No dirt, no pollution, nothing at all. Absolutely stable and steady. And it comes up. Jnana prasadena. You are told what it is like in a tatastha lakshana manner. Nishkalam dhayamana. Without any disturbance, you are meditating on that. Nishkalam means which cannot be partitioned, which cannot be broken into pieces, which cannot be parceled, which cannot be dirtied. Ever pure essence. What is that essence? The awareness of isness. Satta, Satchidananda Swarup, Satta. Awareness is Chetana, isness is Satta. Chetana, Satta are inseparables. They are not qualities. They are the nature, the natural thing. And it is Ananda Swarup. We have a filter in us. Because of that filtration, Ananda doesn't percolate through, but Satta and Chetana percolate through. When you are Nishpriha, when you have no spriha whatsoever, no desire whatsoever, your mind will allow that Ananda Swarupata to blossom forth. That famous statement of Kabir Das, please don't forget it. Ye chaha tu ati nichan ki neech. Oh dear desire of the worldly things, you are the dirtiest of the dirty, the lowliest of the low, the meanest of the mean. Why? Desire is something healthy. Ambition is healthy. With that ambition we live in this world and prosper. Why are you decrying it? The reason I decry it is, Kabir Das says, Arre main to Brahm hu, agar tu na aate beech, tu na hote beech. What does it mean? If you don't come between me and my true original nature, you have made me a pariah. By being in touch with me, I am that ever pure essence of the cosmos. The Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the Khuda, the Allah, call it by any name. Atman, Brahman, we are not bothered. So here he says that you can experience that which is not describable, but through Tatastha Lakshana, that you get a vague idea of what it is. I am Sat Swarup, that is isness, pure existence. I am Chit Swarup, awareness of isness, existence. And I am in reality Ananda Swarup. I am Satchidananda Swarup Atma. That is what I am. How do I go about it? By continuing effort of meditation and deep meditation and deeper meditation and deepest meditation. When you wash yourself clean, your personality is totally washed clean and you are aware of your true original nature. Nishkalam dhyayamana tatastu pashyate jnana prasadena vishuddha satta. By your rationality and your understanding, you keep on mopping up the dirt on the mirror. You are not creating it. The reflectivity is the nature of the mirror. All that you are doing, you are mopping off the dirt. It is not sadhana labhya, it is kripa labhya. You can't produce your true original nature. It is eternal, it is infinite, it is immutable, it is absolute. Where it is to be found? In the cave of your heart, your true original nature. You have forgotten that and you have identified with something which in reality you are not. So this shloka number 8, which we have studied greatly, we had an occasion to revise. The 9th shloka also is of the same tone. Esha anuratma chetasa veditabhya. Chetasa veditabhya, translated to English, is it is experienceable, therefore it has to be experienced. And it is your true original nature, the Atman, is the subtlest of the subtlest of the subtlest. Anu means subtle. Esha Anuratma, your true original nature, has to be very properly understood and based on rock solid, crystal clear, intellectual conviction and understanding. That is what I am. Chetasa veditabhya. It must be experienced. It is experienceable, therefore it must be experienced. Esha anuratma chetasa veditabhya. Jasmin prana panchada sanniveshta. Where have you to concentrate to find it? Within yourself. That awareness of I am, I exist, I am aware I am. This experience has to be obtained by this body-mind complex, but that body-mind complex has been so tuned, has to be so tuned that it is pure of all dirt, of all pollution, of all types of mutation. It should be absolutely understood, and that understanding starts with clear-cut, rock-solid, crystal-clear intellectual understanding, which converts itself through meditative process, experiencing. Chetasa veditabhya. Where? In this body. Pranascha chittam sarvam otam sarvam prajanam. As because it is so, therefore it is limitless. What is the concept of limitation? For us humans, worldly people, it is limited by space. This table occupies this much of space. It cannot be divided or parceled by concept of space. And concept of space undivided is infinite. There is no finiteness. It is infinite. There is not a speck of space where it is not. And then it is eternal. Time is a concept by which we partition things. It is eternal. As because it is beyond time, as because it is beyond space, therefore mutation, modification is not possible. So, it is infinite, it is eternal, infinite, eternal, non-mutable is immutable, therefore it is absolute. Infinite, eternal, non-mutable, changeless, therefore it is absolute. Where it is to be found? I am. That is the true nature. Only what you have done is you have identified yourself with the body-mind complex. Now educate yourself to identify yourself with your true original nature. It's up to you. And it is absolutely existing, permeating the whole concept of cosmos. There's no speck of space where he is not. There's no iota of time where he is not. This is how he describes that behind his description is the instructive part of it, how to go about it. Now the last shloka of this chapter. What is the last shloka, dear? You have been told about everything. How does it help me? I know. The history proves, tradition says so. There are people who have realized that goal. I am told, and history proves, tradition proves. There are people who are known as Jivana Mukta Purusha. They are alive still in human body, but they have totally identified themselves with their true original nature. It appears to you he is in the body, but he remains merged with the Absolute all the time. And he lives in this world. What help can I get out of him? Is it possible to get help out of him? He says, yes. It is said, a person who maintains absolute brahmacharya for 12 years and who is absolutely embedded in truthfulness, as Pitamaha Bhishma was in the Mahabharata age, then what happens, as because he is one with the reality and the truth, whatever he wishes to happen will happen. And history, tradition, present-day history proves it is true. Whatever he desires to happen, he has no desire of his own. He has been desireless, achieved what is to be desired, his own true original nature. He has no desire of his own. But he sees a person struggling to achieve that. And that person is very, very attached to him and serves him with his heart and soul, knowing full well he is a realized soul. So what happens? Because of that concept of compassion, the divine grace, it arises in his mind, oh Lord, let him achieve what he wants to achieve. Let her achieve what she wants to achieve. I pray to you, please happen it. It will happen. Why? Because he has identified with the Absolute. Listen to this last shloka of this chapter. Jam jam lokam manasa sambhivati. Whatever and whatever the desired object may be, whatever and whatever the desired object may be. Vishuddha sattah kamayate janstu kaman. Janscha kaman. Vishuddha sattva means a brahmagyani, a jivana mukta purusha. There are three types, you know. One is you just have your brahmagyana and this body-mind is unable to stand the trauma of this experience. This body withers away in 21 days. That is one of the results of brahmagyana. By God's grace, you are asked to stay on in this body because of your prarabdha is still to be wiped out. So, upabhoge naiva pakshiyate. It will go only when you have gone through the experience. So God sees to it that your body does not fall and it continues. Karma phala data is Ishvara. That aspect of the divine who is the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer of this cosmos. A peg lower than the Nirgun, Nirakara, Nirvikalpa Brahma. He is Saguna, Sakara, Savikalpa, Ishvara. Brahma or Ishvara. So, he stays. While he stays, he remains a Brahmagyani. You see him as a human being, but he knows in himself what he is. Behaves like a child, behaves like something, an inconsistent madman. He behaves like a child, madman, and in so many ways he behaves. But he lives in this world. His sense organs work, his mind works, and he sees somebody is eager to have something, and he or she is helping or serving him. So, if it comes in his mind, oh Lord, let this happen to her. Let her reach her goal. Let him reach his goal. I don't mind what he thinks of me. I don't mind how he deals with me. But I see, a heart of hearts, they are attached to this goal. Please let it happen. It will happen. Therefore, bhuti kamaha, if you are really desirous to achieve that goal, and if you are not desirous of achieving the supreme goal, if you are desirous of something worldly, solution of some of your problems, you pray with a whole heart to him and serve him. You know why you serve him? You build up a sense of obligation in him. He has to respond. The world moves on a policy of give and take. He does not take your service just for the fun of it. It's not a one-way traffic. He pays you back to fulfill your desires. If it is worldly, it will happen. If it is Brahmagyana, it will happen in due course of time. Yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati. Whatever and whatever the desires of this world comes to his mind. And then Vishuddha sattva kamaye jansya kaman. That realized soul who desires, may this happen. That is desire. And he makes a sankalpa, a determined prayer. May this happen to this person. It will happen. Vishuddha sattah kamayate jangsya kaman. Tam lokam jayate tangsya kaman. Tam lokam kamansya jayate. He, that person, conquers all that. He's a master of the whole universe now. Therefore, tasmat atmagyam archayet bhuti kama. People who are desirous and possessed by a desire. You understand me? Those who have been possessed by a desire may be worldly, may be of that ultimate goal. If he wants to have a success, he goes and prays and worships. Archayat here means a wide one. In a limited manner, archayat means they should worship a realized soul. Worshipping, as you saw the worship today, worshipping means, what does it mean? You serve with your heart, with your mind, with your intellect, with your body, you serve him. You bathe him, you wash him, you do this to him, you do that to him, all worldly things. You serve him with this desire in your heart, may your blessings lead me to achieve my goal, whatever the goal it may be. Therefore, dears, it is a double-edged sword. Do not ask small, petty, worldly things from a realized soul. You'll get it. You do not know what harm you are doing to yourself. This person was capable of giving you bhakti, mukti, all that you want to be one with the divine. He had that capacity. And you, like a stupid ass, you ask something transitory of the world. Bhuti kama here is all inclusive. But please mind you, concentrate only on that which is not available everywhere, but from him. With these words, Phalabad, this is what he said. This is a man who started his life journey as you and me. And then slowly and slowly and slowly, he has reached that goal. And he has reached it, and he has experienced it, and he has become one with the reality. When he is in meditative, he is in nirvikalpa samadhi. And when he is awake, he sees the divine everywhere, and his connection with his identity never breaks. Such a person, to reach that goal, he has disciplined himself. And because of that discipline, his word will tell like a thunderbolt, unstoppable. And if you want to take advantage of that man, be very careful what you pray of him, what you ask of him. Tasmat atmagyam archayet bhuti kamaha. Whatever your desire may be, but bhuti kama here, for our spiritual betterment, the meaning has to be concise. Let us seek mukti and bhakti from that realized soul. Thank you, dears. Thank you. That is the end of the first chapter of the third Mundaka. We will start the second chapter of the third Mundaka, which is the last chapter of this Upanishad, in our next class. Thank you, dears. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.